Yo. Can I do an interesting chord progression? I could try. Let me see. That's something. That's like a major thing. I guess I'm thinking that's like an A minor kind of thing. Phrygian. So I'm hitting that flat too. Yeah. Okay, Marcus says, I know you're not really a high gain guy, but have you messed around with Nameless X? Is that the Neural DSP plugin? Sorry, I just read a comment that says "Kiss from Belgium." Thank you, Pierre. Okay. Nameless X. I haven't. I can't say that I have. Yes, this is an iconic guitar. This one was custom spec'd by me. There's a llama on the back. But yeah, so this guitar is was made by Iconic Guitars out in Carlsbad, and the neck is like this roasted maple. It's not flamed, it's just roasted maple, but it's like this. It looks like incredible. And it has like this really cool. I think there's like a nitro finish on it, and then got this like shell pink. And these pickups are Seymour Duncan silencer, like the vintage silencer pickups, which are really pretty cool. They're very quiet, like yeah, they sound great, but I just love how quiet they are. And then I got like this, I think this is a Godot 510 Trem, the 2-point. So there's only 2 screws going into the body here. And then what I love about this guitar is that it's semi-hollow. It's semi-hollow and it's contoured. So I don't know, it's kind of hard to see, but like it's contoured and this whole top section is hollow. Oh, is there a hiss coming from the mic? I'll have to figure that out another time because I can't really hear that on my end. Sorry about that. Yeah, so okay, what guitarists inspire me? I really love Tim Miller. Tim Miller is awesome. And then who else do I like? I like lots of guitar players, like Julian Lage. I think that's how you say his last name. I don't know. He's amazing. Yeah. I don't listen to a lot of guitar right now. At the moment, there's not a lot of guitar that I listen to. Okay, you guys want to see the guitar tone? So it's pretty simple. Here, I can show it. So this is my Quad Cortex preset that I'm using right now. This bottom one with input 2 is my mic, so you can kind of ignore this bottom line. But the top 3 lines or 3 rows are my guitar signal. So I'm first running into like a gate that's kind of barely on, and then compressor. 1176 style compressor. I just really love the 1176 style thing. It's kind of all I use. It's like the only type of compression that I use is the 1176 style thing on guitar. I've heard the argument that you shouldn't use it on guitar because it's really supposed to be used in a studio, but too bad. I like it, so that's what I use. I have a couple overdrives. So I have this Venuram TS808, which is my friend Yas's Venuram that I think Joseph Anager captured, and now it's on my Quad Cortex. I think that preset, the capture is also available on Joseph's Neural DSP profile. And then I have the Surf Green Timmy, which is mine, that I captured, which sounds like. Sorry. And then I'm also using this Venuram Janray style overdrive. Very cool. And then my amp that I'm using on the Quad Cortex is the CA 1-Star Clean 50-watt Tweed, which is a Lone Star style model. And then for the cab, I'm using the 212 Zilla Fatboy Vintage 30s. This is also one that comes with the Quad Cortex. I just really like Vintage 30s, so that's what I'm using. And then I guess I'm running 2 delays at the same time. Let me get rid of this one. So this is the slapback. And then this is like a longer tape delay. And then lastly, we have this modulated reverb, which is pretty sick. It's Especially if you turn it up and like get this. Here even more, it's like pretty cool. Yeah. How do I? Oh, that's a lot of comments. Hold on. How do I come up with chord progressions in general? Am I a theory guy, or do you follow your instinct instead and try different things? I do both, really. So a lot of my chord stuff is pretty simple. It's not anything too crazy. I tend to think a lot in like intervals, I guess you would call it. So like root note, and then what notes from a scale do I think sound good, I guess. So like if I'm in like A, just the tonal center of A, and then I'm like, okay, I want to find some notes that work with this A root note. At this point, maybe I'll pick like a mode of the major scale. So let's say like Dorian, and then now I'm going to pick notes from Dorian that I think sound cool. So say I have this root note, and then maybe I'll go like, I don't know, the 2. So I'm playing A root note, 2, 3rd, that's 6 from Dorian, and the 5th. And then for the next chord, maybe I want to go to, as a root note, maybe to the 4th. Right, so now this D is my root note. And I'm still thinking in A Dorian, but I'm like, what notes from A Dorian sound cool with this root note? So maybe that's kind of cool. So now I have this D, and then if I'm thinking about it in relation to A Dorian, it's like the 4th, that 6th, 2nd, the 6th again, and the 5th. And if I go between the 2, it's like what was I doing? That wasn't from A Dorian. Maybe I'll do like that. Okay, so like those are my first 2 chords, and then maybe my 3rd chord is like which is not from A Dorian anymore. This is just from like A minor. So I'm mainly using like my ear mixed with like scales for a point of reference, and then say after I come up with that little progression, at that point I'll kind of fine tune it and change certain notes and see what works. So like feel like I kind of sloppily explained that, but that's generally how I think of things. Why is Carl bad? That's a good question. Everyone, everyone trying to copy Josh Dela in 2024. Huh? Is that a thing? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I can only imagine how awesome it must be to work with Matt Garska. It's kind of incredible. Anything that you throw at him, he's immediately like, oh yeah, okay. Like he can pick up rhythms like no one I've ever met. It's insane. And then like his knowledge of music, and I think he's like absolutely the best musician I've ever met. He's insane. Everything he does is also like just so musical. The QC interface looks alien. Yeah, it's pretty simple actually. Because I use both the quad cortex and like an Axe FX, and it's all pretty easy to use. How do I normally keep my action? I actually don't. I don't know. I've never measured it. It's pretty low. I think Joseph ended up grabbing this guitar and adjusting it a little bit. It's low, but it's not so crazy low that it frets out or anything. So it's a good in between, I think. I really don't want it to be where like if I hit down on a note, it gets like a buzzy sound. So it's maybe like low action, but not extremely low action. Best part of working ideas with Joseph. It's just nice to work with another guitar player sometimes. Like, I think Portraits is like the first project where it's been me and another guitar player. Which was kind of a new experience because I'm used to kind of just doing everything myself. But with the Portrait stuff, it's very much like we work through everything together. It's kind of cool being able to like throw guitar parts at each other and then be like, oh, try this, and then it's like, oh no, try this, in a way that it's not the same with like working with a drummer or with someone else. Like working with another guitar player is definitely it's a fun experience. Are Joseph and I going to make more podcast episodes? It's cool just seeing how you guys talk about your playing and approaches. Thanks. Yeah, we actually just filmed another Trading Licks thing earlier this week. So that will be, once it's edited, that will be out pretty soon. Yeah, those are pretty fun to do. And it is interesting talking with more guitar players because like most of the time I'm kind of like isolated in terms of guitar. Like I'm just at home practicing or recording stuff. So when you talk to another guitar player about things like theory and technique and stuff like that, it's always interesting what the differences are. Have I ever considered or already used one of the new Axe FX3 Mark IIs? I've never actually owned or played like an actual full-size Axe FX, but I own an FM3, which I do. I travels with me, so the FM3 is pretty great. It's definitely not as powerful as the Axe FX3, but it does what I need it to. And in such a small form factor, I can just throw it in my backpack, which I think is my favorite thing about it. How guitarists plan smooth transitions during metric or scale changes. Whether there's a mental checklist guitarists use before soloing to guide the phrases through chord changes. I guess I can show you how I think about it. It's pretty oh, really quick, before I answer that question, there's like a super chat thing. I don't know if they call it that on YouTube, but thank you. Oh gosh, I hope I pronounced your name right. Samu. Opinion on the Pliny DSP update. It's cool. I got the beta of it, maybe, or I got like an early release of it, and I used it a bunch on the new Victoria stuff, and it's sounds great. I was having an issue, but I'm sure they fixed it now, where it wasn't saving my settings, or it wasn't saving specifically if I set the input to stereo or not. But I'm pretty sure they fixed that by now. But yeah, it sounds just as good as the old one, and it has a couple new sounds, I think, that are really cool. When I was with Pliny maybe like a month ago, I was watching him I was helping film a course for a thing, and he was using the plugin. He was using like the delay. I don't know if this is in the original one, but they added a delay pedal before the amp, so you can get these like really distorted delays, which was pretty cool. Okay, let's talk about scale changes, and I guess playing through different changes and stuff. I guess it depends on like the chord changes itself, but like say I'm switching between two things, right? Where I'm going like an A minor. Let's say I'm going from A minor to like this E flat, or not E flat, it would be like a D sharp-ish thing. So in my head I'm thinking like A Dorian or A minor or whatever to it's the same notes as like A Locrian. So what I do is that like if I'm going like so it's changing every 2 measures. So I'm just thinking about, I'm switching between those 2 scales in my head, and like which notes are different between the 2 scales, which notes are the same, and then I'm making sure that I change in interesting ways in time. All right, so I know every 2 measures that it's changing these chords, to a new scale. So say in A minor, I have like this 9 thing. So maybe when I end on the A minor and then I go to the next chord, I know it's going to be only a half step down. And then from here, I know the next chord is going to be a half step up. So I guess I'm just changing scales in time and then paying attention to what notes I'm ending in the previous scale and then what notes I'm starting with in the new scale. And then like also paying attention to phrasing, because I don't love the sound of when like you like stop and then start again. Like I want the phrases to continue between both scales. So like if I'm going like, I want to be able to continue, right? So that last note is from the new scale. So notice how I continue the phrase. I'm not stopping between each scale. I'll probably do more in-depth stuff about this topic because this topic kind of goes, it can get extremely in-depth. I try not to overthink it. I'm pretty simple when it comes to that kind of stuff. There is more Victoria music coming, so I'm gonna keep that kind of vague, but you can count on more music coming. Can you speak more about motivic development in your music and improvisation, and then how do I make sure a song is not just a bunch of riffs? That's kind of a big deal to me. I try not to do the riff salad thing. I don't want to just have riff and then next riff and then next riff. So recently, like with all the new Victoria stuff, it's very like concept based. So for example, Chronostasis, the song is based around a rhythmic concept that I then put chords and like a melody to make it not so much like an exercise and more of like an actual song. So like, I guess I'll use that as an example. So the concept that I had before writing the song was to switch between these two polyrhythms. So I'm switching between 4 against 3, and then from that to 3 against 2, and then another 3 against 2, and then one more 4 against 3. So it's 4 polyrhythms happening, all right next to each other. So 4 against 3, 4 against 3, 3 against 2, 3 against 2, 4 against 3. And then my idea was I'm only going to play the top polyrhythm. So I'm not going to play like the underlying quarter note or the underlying pulse. I'm only going to play the polyrhythm, which if you play it right next to each other, they're not the same rate, because one of them is groups of threes in 16th notes, and then the other one is I guess groups of twos in triplets. So those two they're close, but they're not the same rate, so you get this like slowing down effect, which I thought was really cool. And so that's kind of what I based the I can't even play my own song. Wait, what is it? So it's like so those polyrhythms happening, and so turning that into a song and using it as like a concept that flows through the whole song. And I'm not really playing riffs, so I think that kind of helped it not just turn into riff after riff. It's much more like chord based and melody based. When I double track and pan left and right, how wide do I usually make it? Like 75%? I actually, if I'm gonna be panning stuff, it's like all the way. So anytime I double track things, I just hard right, hard left, which is maybe not the best thing in the world, but that's just what I currently like the sound of. So I really, if you look at my sessions, pretty much nothing is like in between straight in the middle or hard right, hard left. So yeah. What guitar am I using? This is an iconic guitar, Carlsbad model. And it's named after the place that it was built, which is in Carlsbad, California. Maybe 2 years ago, I did a video about recording DI with the QC and the problems I had. Did Neural solve these problems at the end? So, they aren't problems. That's just the nature of any interface. Like, it's not specifically a Neural DSP thing. It's also not a problem. It's just a preference of how I like recording DIs. I like recording hot input DIs. So like not at zero. I turn up my gain a little bit on the input. And then if I need to, I could turn it down in their plugins, the input. But so it's not an issue with Neural DSP at all. It's just how I like recording DIs. So there's really nothing for them to solve. It's kind of just how can I turn up the gain on the inputs. Yo Josh, really love those last couple of tunes with you and Matt. How you liking those P90s? Thank you for listening to the songs. I appreciate that. The P90s are great. Like, you can hear how insanely quiet they are. I can't play guitar right now. Yeah, the P90s are very, very fun. And it's nice to have like guitars with different pickups in them. And then, oh, got another super chat thing from Samu. Can we get a playthrough of the Buy High outro? That would be pretty cool. Maybe Joseph and I can plan that out. I would have to relearn it. It was because I haven't played it since I recorded it, which was like over a year ago. But yeah, maybe I'll bring that up to Joseph because that could be kind of cool to do a little back and forth with him on that. Similar to the previous question, how do you think about smooth tempo changes and metric modulation? Well, I think with tempo changes, I try never to have a tempo change that's like unrelated to anything. Like I don't want it to just speed up by a random or slow down by a random amount. So a tempo change is always, in my own head at least, has some kind of relation to the original tempo. And one of the ways that I do that is with the metric modulation stuff. I find that to get the metric modulation stuff to sound super smooth is to have something continue over both sections, right? Like if you have like a metric modulation happen and then all the instruments change and like there's no real, it just sounds like you're randomly going to a new thing. So if I'm going to have a metric modulation, I want a lot of it to actually just, the song to just like continue over, right? So like if I have this thing that's like, let me turn off this reverb. That's like, so I'm thinking like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I want that to continue if I'm going to metrically modulate it, because if it randomly goes to a new thing at the same time that I metrically modulate, it's just going to sound too unrelated, right? So I try to keep the same rhythm. So for example, if I'm like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, so now I'm in a completely new tempo and new time signature and new subdivision, but it feels like they're related to each other because I'm not changing the sound. It's just the rhythm underneath that's changing. Love your tone, dude. What amp model do you usually use? Well, thank you. I can show you. I showed it a little bit earlier, but I'll show it again. So this is the amp model that I'm using. It's the CA 1-star clean 50-watt tweed, which is based on the Mesa Boogie Lone Star. I've never played a Lone Star in real life, but they seem cool, and everyone that I've heard play them online sounds great. I own a Mesa Boogie Fillmore 50, which is an amp that I really like. So I'm sure the Lone Star is also great, but this is the model that I use. I use it because I like the way that it takes the overdrives and the way that it compresses when I dig in. So like when I really dig in, it like compresses in just a way that I really like. I don't know if I could describe why I like it, but I feel like when I play an amp, I just kind of know if I like how it compresses or not. Cool. do I use the stock neural cabs or do I use IRs? I actually really only use the stock neural cabs, and that includes the plugins. Whenever I'm using the plugins, I'm pretty much always using stock neural cabs because I feel like they sound amazing and they always really fit the amp model that they're using. So like 99% of the time I'm using stock cabs, especially with the plugins. So with the Quad Cortex, this is the one that I'm using, which is again a stock cab. The 212 Zilla Fat Boy V30, vintage 30s with the dynamic 57 and ribbon 160. So pretty simple, pretty standard IR. Matt. Just came across your channel last week. Not sure how you only have 15K subscribers. Thanks. Yeah, I'm trying to build it up. I would like to be more consistent with YouTube, and I think doing these live streams is one of the ways that I'm planning on doing it. So I'm trying to make these live streams like a normal thing. Which one thing I'll say is that my kind of plan with these live streams is that while I'm doing them live, anyone can watch them, but then once I'm done streaming, it's going to be channel members only. And I am going to cut up some clips of this kind of content and put it online, but it's only going to be a few clips. And then if you want to see the whole thing, there's like a channel membership. How do I come up with odd note groupings, 5-tuplet or 7-tuplet in your songs? It's not often that I'm actually playing the full tuplet, so it's pretty easy. It's more just like a feel. So like, if I'm playing like a septuplet, swing kind of thing, right? Especially in like a metal or rock context, it could be like. Which is like very, I'm not doing anything that complicated. It's just being able to feel the and then also same thing with the 5s where it's like but I mean I'm only hitting 2 notes of those tuplets, and then I'm filling in the rest with either like synthesizers or with guitar solos or a lot of ghost notes on drums. Okay, Kenneth says, what is a technique that is important for your type of playing style, and what technique do you tend to use most? I mean, 1000% it's hybrid picking. I've kind of just like, I use it so much that it's, I don't know how to not use it. Actually, that's not true. I can not use it if I want to, but I always use it for like everything. So either for like, even for just like playing chords. It's just become like a thing. It's just how I play guitar is with the pick and then my middle finger and then my ring finger if I'm playing chords. And so that lets me do all of the like the types of patterns that I do and the way that I play, like improvise and play solos and stuff, is all extremely based on this hybrid picking technique of like it's all hybrid picking. Bunch of different patterns. Oh, Joseph's here. He said, "No, you're correct. Hard right and left for everything other than toms." Yeah. Do I use a lot of compression on my tone? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I just really like compression. I can play without it if I want to, but I just really like compression. Mad Chronic says, "I love you. I love you too. Thank you." Is that a new background? It is a new background. You see this beautiful monstera? Look at it. It's huge. My camera is charged this time. Although it is dying. So it's plugged in, but it's like also dying. That's annoying. I'll have to figure that out. Maybe I'll have to buy like a dummy battery. Hey man, been listening since your collab with Intervals. Well, thank you. In your opinion, how does the Quad Cortex stack up against other top modelers or even new plugins available today? Well, I don't really compare it to plugins because I can't take plugins with me on a stage. I mean, I guess I could if I brought like a laptop, but that just sounds annoying. So, but compared to other modelers, I mean, they're all sound amazing, honestly. What I love about the Quad Cortex is like how easy it is to change things on stage. Like, I love Axe-Fx too, but I find it very difficult to change settings without my computer. When the Quad Cortex is very much the opposite, where it's extremely easy to change settings and like adjust my tone without a computer, especially with that touchscreen. Like, I don't think there's any other modeler that compares in terms of like how easy it is to adjust settings and create new tones on the spot. Do I face writer's block, over perfectionism, and fear of failure occasionally? And then how do I overcome them? I mean, yeah, of course. Writer's block. Yeah. What I found with writer's block is that I just have to force myself to write things. So every now and then I'll be like inspired to like I'll feel inspired and write a thing, but most of the time I'm not. So what I have to do is just open up Logic and or a DAW and force myself to write something. And sometimes in the moment I hate it, and then I'll come back a couple days and listen to it again and be like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool, and continue writing it. And then from there I'll get like kind of inspired once I kind of find something cool. But I will say like 90% of the things I do are forced, or at least they're forced at first, and then after a while you kind of get into it and you feel you can kind of see where the song should go. Or I give up on it and then I just start a new song. Over perfectionism, I mean, yes, but at the same time I want things that I play to sound like a person played it. So I'm just trying to get really good takes of things. Not perfect, but like with good feel, I guess. And then fear of failure. I don't think about that. I think if you think about that, it's just a losing battle. So I don't think about if things are successful or not. It's more just like I write music that I like, and then I release it. When did I start playing guitar, and what made me pick the instrument up? I started playing guitar when I was 10. I'm 27 now, so it's been a good amount of time. Sorry about how crazy my hair is, by the way. I'm like looking at my hair on the camera and it's horrible. I need a haircut. Jeez. Yeah, so what maybe my grandma bought me a guitar. She bought me an acoustic guitar, and I just enjoyed the process of playing it and learning songs and the normal stuff, I guess. Can I react to your song on stream? Yeah, why not? Send me your song. I don't know if you can send it on YouTube comments. I don't know how to do that. If you email it to me. So my email is joshvictoriaguitar@gmail.com. If you email that to me, I will react to your song on the stream right now. Do a whammy? I don't know what that means. Let's see if he sent the song. I don't see it yet. I'm waiting. Selective picking. I really don't do that much selective picking. I can do that pattern. How often do you cut up takes to make them sound perfect? I don't really. Do I? I'll like comp some stuff. Yeah. I try to get it in one take if possible. But if I need to, I'll definitely like comp stuff. Oh, okay, we got the song. All right, hold on. What's happening? All right, dude. We're gonna react to your song live on stream. Let's see. I hope you guys can hear this. Let's see. I will say I like the those like electronic drum sounds. The like breakbeat style thing. I kind of wish that was happening more. That's not your song. I will react to your song in a moment. This is, I guess someone else sent me this. That's funny. I like the sound of a bunch of delay on guitars, but I think when it's happening the whole time, it's a little bit much. Like, I think it would be more impactful if certain sections had all that delay and then certain sections didn't, because then you'd have all that contrast, which really I think is what I like in songs, is lots of contrast. But yeah, so like being very selective about which parts have delay and which parts don't, I think would be really cool. Yeah. It's a cool song. I still think my favorite part are those like little breakbeat things. So more of that and I will be very happy. All right. Let me pull up the other song that the guy sent. Let me download it. Okay. Here we go. The mix could use a little work. I love the sound of groups of fives being hit, like the I think it's such like a cool, really angular sound. And when there's like chugs doing it, I think that's sick. funny. It's very animals as leaders. I think this section is my favorite so far. That's really that sounds fun to play over. You know, are these live drum tracks? I'm pretty sure these are programmed drums. I wish there was something a bit more like ear candy, like something that my ear could hook onto, like some kind of melodic thing. I know it's like a guitar solo, but I like the rhythm. I like groups of fives. But I feel like there needs to be something like unique to grab me, because there's lots. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm sure that you're using a lot of the neural DSP plugins and all the GGD stuff. But I feel like I like more. I want it to be more different than a lot of prog that's out there. So like, whether that's production wise or like playing, like finding really melodic things that work over this, I think that would really hook me. Sick guitar solo though. Maybe let me know what guitar that is. It sounds pretty cool. Graham says, nice Monstera. Thank you. Yes, it is my Monstera that I have carried. No, I'm just kidding. It's not mine. Yes, I will tell the owner of that Monstera that you very much like it. Oh, I guess more people are sending songs. Okay, I guess this is gonna be the song reaction video. Let's see here. All right, from Duplex. I'm downloading this one now. Does any of the Victoria material ever start from a rhythmic idea or a drum part from Matt? You come up with great drum parts too. Does he ever end up using any of your drum ideas? I appreciate saying that I come up with good drum ideas. So if I come up with the song and I send it to him, I also send him one without drums. And I think he usually doesn't listen to the one where I program drums. He only listens to the one where I didn't put drums, because he doesn't want to be influenced by my poorly programmed MIDI drums. So I still do it anyways because it helps me write, is having drum parts. So if I'm coming up with a song, I will either way, knowing that they're all gonna completely change, I will still program drum parts for myself. And then sometimes he actually starts the songs and will write a drum part and then send it to me, and then I'll write guitar to it, and then it's usually like ideas, so it's not like he sends me a full song of drums. So he'll send me like ideas, and then I'll like chop them up, put them in different places, write music around it, maybe program a little bit of drums, and then I'll send it back to him, and then he'll redo the drums again. Cool. Let's listen to another song that someone sent in. Prog is short for progressive, not for program. Although, at a certain point, it might be fair to call it short for program. All right, let's hear this song. I like the energy. I think the guitars could be recorded a bit tighter. But I'm into the energy for sure. Ooh, yeah, I like that synth. That synth is cool. those drum cymbals, man, they're very loud. I want more of the synth. Give me more synth stuff. It's cool. It's very intervals. I'm noticing that there's like that, like the which is I think in an interval song, which is cool. It's like a heavy intervals. I would say do more with that synth stuff. It's very. I like that sound. The guitars kind of sound similar to a lot of stuff out there, which is fine. And I say tighten up the guitars. We'll do more synth stuff because that was a pretty cool synth tone. Let's see. Oh, people are just sending songs to my email, which is joshvictoriaguitar@gmail.com. As my music is kind of niche, do I depend fully on making / performing music? It's niche, but I will say that the audience for it is very dedicated. So there's lots of ways to use that. So that's like selling things along with your music, or you know, because the people that play this music tend to be pretty dedicated to the instrument. You can do lessons, you can do, there's like a million different things you can do. So yeah, even though it's niche, that doesn't mean that it's like it's a niche but dedicated, I guess. That's the best way to put it. But if you go to like a prog show, like sometimes they're packed, and everyone there is like so excited to be there. So it's very cool. Have I heard Aaron's new album? I have not, so I'll be waiting with you guys. Yeah. Oh, your band is Opeth? Nice. Wow. Cool. Well, I'll probably be wrapping this up soon. I don't know if anyone has any more guitar questions. Also, do you guys like this format of just like doing whatever? I'm thinking about doing more like of these, kind of just like hanging out and doing whatever, and then also some of like writing songs, and then maybe some about specific guitar techniques and thoughts. And maybe I'll also do one that's specifically reacting to people's songs that they send in, or videos of them playing or something. When recording songs with the quad cortex or analog gear, do you also record the wet effects or do you add them afterwards? It depends on the part. So normally I actually don't really record with the quad cortex. I'm recording with plugins, so I don't have to worry about that. But if I am going to record the quad cortex, I tend to also record the wet effects because I just like how they sound and it makes my life a bit easier. And then with analog gear, I think most of the time I also record that with the wet effects. And that's just because maybe laziness, but also I just like the sound of wet effects through analog gear and printing it because it just makes my life a little simpler, you know. Josh, you killed it on that solo and the Neo Thanka. I actually don't know how to say that name. Jam. Thank you. Yeah. That was very fun. That was a long time ago. That was with my buddy Long Zhao, and he is incredible. And I did some dumb septuplet thing, and he was down and followed it on drums, and it was very cool. I was very stoked about how that came out. Can I make a song with all free plugins as an experiment? That actually sounds like a really cool idea. Do you know of any free guitar modeling plugins? Maybe leave me with one that you like, and maybe I'll make a video about that. That could be pretty cool, actually. Thanks for spending time with us. Love the format. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, because this is pretty easy to set up and do, so I am very down. One question, not sure if you went over this, but do you use an interface or does the quad cortex have a USB out? I am actually using the quad cortex as my interface, yeah. So I have my mic and this guitar both plugged into the quad cortex. And then like, if I go here, so this is my quad cortex screen. These first 3 rows are my guitar, and then this last row is actually this microphone. So I have a input gate and then a compressor on this microphone, and then my guitar is running through all of this top 3 rows. How do I approach practicing / playing faster runs? You're playing it super clean. Thank you. As far as faster runs, like I try to make sure all the notes are clearly heard. And sometimes that means I play it slower at first, right? So if I'm doing like a right? I first do it slower. And then I slowly build up the speed on it. Even though it does feel different playing it fast than it does slow, I'm still just trying to make sure that every single note in that run is heard and is like at a controlled volume. So it's a lot of paying attention to individual notes, I guess. In these fast runs, I never want it to feel sloppy. Yeah, a lot of this actually is also rhythmic. Being comfortable with rhythms, right? So like knowing exactly how fast you need to play in the rate of 16th notes or 30-second notes, like with a click. I'm never just playing out of time. I mean, when I'm playing like right now, like without a click or anything, then yeah, I'm just kind of free flowing. But like if I'm with a click, I tend to most of the time be playing to some kind of subdivision that I'm hearing, and I guess I'm feeling a subdivision. So internalizing subdivisions, I think, really helps me with my fast playing, because then I knew if I was in time or not. And being in time, to me at least, makes things feel really clean and not sloppy. Do I ever use a capo on electric? Not really. No, I use it on acoustic a lot. Do I also send the outputs from the QC to a speaker? Yes. So the two main outputs of the Quad Cortex are XLRs, and those two outputs are going to my studio monitors. And then now the front knob is my main volume. It's pretty easy to use it as an interface. Honestly, I really enjoy it. Guitar Rig does free amp models. Also, the stock Logic says Ableton amps. Okay, maybe I'll check those out, and maybe I'll do a video about free plugins, because that'd be kind of cool. Do you use multiple fingers for your hybrid picking, or is it just pick and middle finger? It's pretty much always just pick and middle finger, unless I'm doing chords. Because if I'm doing like that kind of thing, which is I guess a bit different than hybrid picking, but like if I'm doing like any kind of double stops, I'm using both my middle and ring finger. But whenever I'm doing like runs, or if I'm doing just like legato stuff, it's really only ever my pick and my middle finger. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do a live stream specifically about hybrid picking sometime soon, and that could be a cool topic. Okay, last thing for this live stream is I'm gonna react to another song that was sent in. Let's see. So this is gonna be the last one the song that I react to, and then I'm gonna hop off. But for anyone watching that is currently tuned in, this live stream, of course, is available to the public while I'm streaming live. But once I am done streaming, it is gonna be the archived video, I guess, full video, is only going to be available to channel members. So if you would like to rewatch this or see any like different guitar playing stuff that I did or anything that I explained, like consider joining the channel as a member. But yeah, cool. So let's react to this track. Got a slow build. I like the spacey guitar thing. I like the groups of 3 chugging thing. I'm into that. Also the like arpeggiator sounding guitar is pretty cool. Pretty cool. So far we're 1:40 in. Except for the intro, it was nice contrast to the section, but once the section came in, it's been like here the whole time. So I'm waiting for some more contrast in the sections and like maybe like a quieter thing to happen. I feel like I just want something more interesting to happen. It's good playing. It's recorded well. I for music that I personally listen to a lot, I think I need something more, you know what I mean? Like it's not bad. It's just kind of I've heard a lot of music like this, I guess. This is cool. like how you brought back the motif as just a synth over this pattern. Yeah, that riff sounds really hard to play. I don't think I could play that, but yeah, it sounds good. I'd say keep going, try to find keep writing and like try to write more music that's maybe find your style, you know. Constantly be evolving and like trying to find the right blend of genres that you like. You know, take this and like put your own spin on it, kind of thing. Yeah, so I think that's gonna be it for this this live stream. Yeah, consider becoming a member to watch the full video after I stop streaming, and then when I do more of these, I'm probably gonna start cutting them up and putting some of the clips on my YouTube channel. Maybe if I ever say anything interesting, which is kind of rare, but when I do, I will I will put it on my channel. So cool. It was good hanging with you guys. I'll catch you later. Peace.